Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It is Connor. We're back here with the merch. We've even got Bremner on the underside. We are promoting this back four thing, everybody. Braced for the run-in. Indeed, are you? Don't know, I'm sort of getting there. This cathartic way of speaking to you guys, this release, the therapy, it helps, and I hope it helps you. Before we start the video, everybody, Generation Leeds is going to be out today. Me and my old man going at it when it comes to Leeds United yet again. Pause. But yeah, we're going to be going at it. We're going to be speaking about the playoffs. We're going to be speaking about the contenders. We're going to be speaking about Leeds United's chances, how he feels after last weekend's abomination, last weekend's release of anguish, anger and frustration. But before we start the video, everybody, please make sure you are liking, commenting, subscribing, and of course, head on over to the Patreon where you can win this stuff. You can win all of this gear. Jay Coyle has ordered a white peacock's top from Back Four and myself. Make sure you do something really similar, everybody. If you want to be involved in a giveaway, we will be doing the giveaway at the start of next week where I'll be dishing my hand in my own pocket to get you guys something on the giveaway over on the Patreon. So make sure you head on over there, everybody, for a bigger chance of winning. But shout out to Jay Coyle who won the giveaway, and shout out to everybody who got involved as well. So what are we talking about today, Connor? Well, if you haven't checked out the content yesterday, make sure you do so. Ellen Road, transfer news, and a sexy preview with Chris Reeve. A good preview with Chris Reeve. Make sure you check that out, everybody. I'm clearly a little bit invigorated this one. I feel I'm reinvigorated. I don't know what's happened. Maybe a good night's sleep. Maybe that's what it is. Who knows? But yeah, Leeds facing Norwich. God, I've previewed the absolute life out of this, everybody. But today we're going to be speaking about something a little bit different. It's Daniel Farke going forward. Hello, everybody. I would love to stay at Leeds under the 49ers. Please keep me. Well, Daniel, I can tell you, you might have your wish. I was speaking earlier on in the week about, reports suggesting, and I mentioned this previously, everybody. I know Phil Hayes done his article today on what on what almost the 49ers expect and their relationship with Daniel Farke, and hopefully I give you a little bit of an insight earlier on this week as to what the expectancy is there, and it's really, really interesting how, in my opinion, I will say this, and based off a few things, I don't think they will be sacking Daniel Farke whatsoever. I don't think whatever happens in this playoff sort of structure, there is going to be a sacking of Daniel Farke. It will not happen. The reason behind that is I think the 49ers see a lot of Paraag in Daniel, and I think they've actually been really, really impressed with him, what he's delivered. I think a lot of you fans out there who are talking about the obvious when it comes to points, when it comes to structure, when it comes to what he's had to deal with, that is 100% what the 49ers are thinking when it comes to him. So listen, there is going to be no sacking. There is going to be no sacrificial lamb, whatever happens with Leeds United. I would be surprised if, like Chris was saying last night, they haven't looked back at his tenure at Norwich, where the first season wasn't good. The second season was a lot better. He was able to find players like Godfrey, Pookie, Buendia, and there was a real synergy between him and sporting director Stuart Webber. So I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to happen, which is going to be sort of negative towards Daniel Farke. And let's bear this in mind, everybody. The 49ers, there was a lot of reports coming out not long ago, last week, that they're drawing up transfer targets. They're looking at transfer targets for next summer, and Daniel Farke is putting his 2 cents in there. So listen, I think this is a long-term thing. I think, as Chris was saying last night, continuity is a thing in football. Long-termness is a thing in football. If you're able to build that, if you're able to build something which, provides a little bit of foundation, solidity, that's something in football which is quite rare nowadays, and something which the 49ers will be wanting to build. And you look at what they've done with the 49ers, in the States, the NFL team. Just look at that. Go and have a look at that. I'm not going to explain it to you, but go and have a look at that and what they've done in terms of continuity on and off the pitch. And that's what they're trying to do at Ellen Road. That's what they believe will ultimately bring success. Now, what do you think? Do you think, and I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say when it comes to Farke, because I think there would be license to be upset as a fan. I think there's license to be upset as a fan if this wasn't to go the right way. Now, there's a lot of people Someone said to me on Twitter the other day, one of these faceless weirdo accounts again, who never get out of the sticky bed sheets in the mum's basement. One person, one of that mould, was saying to me yesterday that I'm the most negative Leeds fan. I'm really pessimistic and people shouldn't listen to me before the playoffs. That's absolutely fine. It's subjective. Obviously, everyone's got a different opinion. However, what I would say is Leeds have given you nothing. So it's another clapper who just sits there and blindly follows Leeds into every single alley. You've got to look at the evidence. That's what I try and do. The 90 points has been great, but my criticism is when it's mattered, it's not been good enough. So 90 points is all well and good. You know, we can lift that 90-point trophy. It's great, and you've got to contextualize that. However, what I will say is when you're building in a 90-point conversation, you have to apply that context that we've blown up at the most important time. Someone said to you at the start of the window, oh yeah, Leeds have got 90 points. You'd be like, bloody hell, that's brilliant. But they blew up at the end of the season. You go, oh, right, okay. What happened? Then that other person would proceed to explain what's happened. They would explain the context of where Leeds were, and then the other person originally, who was told about the 90 points, would go, oh, bloody hell, that's not good. Well, what happened? So you had this team in the Championship, you got to this point, and then at the important point, it blew up. Yeah. Oh, well, what's gone wrong there? So context has to be applied to these conversations that people are hypothetically having with themselves of, if I'd have said at the start of the season we would have got 90 points, you'd have been like, well, I'll take that. Well, yes, but the context needs to be applied. So for me, I was asked on Talk Norwich City yesterday, my opinion, and I need to see a lot more from Daniel Farke. I really do, as a football fan. I'm not a pundit, I'm a fan. And I think a lot of you guys, on the basis of my comment section, have been saying the exact same to me when it comes to tactical stubbornness, when it comes to a little bit of pragmatism. I've mentioned before against Norwich, I think a 4-3-3 would work wonders. I think a 4-3-3 would get the best out of Joel Paraag, 100%. And I think a 4-3-3 would give us a lot more going forward, but defensively as well. And I think you'd see a little bit more in that midfield in terms of dominating possession and also dominated in terms of tackles and all this sort of stuff. I think there's a nice balance in there with the three midfielders that we've got. And there's a lot more protection there and a lot more going forward as well if you're to, you know, maybe put Archie at the tip of that. So, and you've then got the advantage of bringing maybe a Jorginho Rutter off the bench, because I know a lot of you guys aren't impressed with him at this moment in time, which I'm not. I don't think he's fully recovered. But the pragmatism thing is a big, big thing. But the 90-point haul, it seems, to the 49ers is a big, big thing, which he's achieved. I would add context to that. However, I do think it's a good achievement. But I think if we blow up now, there's no Leeds fan going into these playoffs with confidence, instead of you just turning around and going, you know, well, what else can we be? What else can we? We have to be confident, because then there's no point. And that is correct, but that's what you call hope. That's what you call hope. You add a dose of realism in there and you look at the PEE, point evidence explanation, the evidence isn't good. And the explanation follows that. So at this moment in time, if we go into this Norwich game and Daniel Farke is able to pull a rabbit out the hat and we go down there and beat them, or we come back with a really good result in terms of a draw or whatever, we get back to Ellen Road and we get through it, you know, and we look good, we look back to our former selves, you've got to turn around and go, right, Farke, what a brilliant job he's done, because from this period where we've been abhorrent, 6 goals in 2 games, battered at home by Southampton, the biggest sort of 2-1 battering I've seen, to be quite honest with you. We didn't touch the ball for 40 minutes. If he's able to turn that around in 8 days and we go to Norwich and we put in 2 really good performances, 2 comprehensive performances, there's differences potentially in personnel, there's differences in the intensity, because we're completely flat the other day. You turn around and you go, well, actually, there's more context to what you'd be telling yourself. And this is the story of how it goes. Well, we got 90 points. We didn't go up. Oh, that's a shame. Well, what happened? Well, the back end of the season, we completely blew up. Oh, bloody hell. So we went into the playoffs then. Yeah, we went into the playoffs. How did that go? Well, the manager actually turned it round and we went up. Oh, wow. That is acumen. How did he manage to do that? That's the conversation that you'd be having with your hypothetical imaginary friend that people have been referring to in terms of, if you told yourself, oh, if you told your mate at the start of the season we'd get 90 points, you know, that will be the conversation. That is serious context. Leeds have blown up, but Daniel Farke has been able to recover. So that's it from a fan's perspective, I feel, from the general consensus of what you guys have been putting in the comment section, what I've been seeing a lot as well, what I've been speaking to my mates and their general feelings as well. He has to improve. Tactical ingenuity has to be better, has to be more pragmatic, has to be better with substitutes, has to be better with personnel in general, in my opinion, from the start. And if he's able to turn all this around in the playoffs, then I'll be turning around and going, oh my God, fair play to him. Fair play to him. You know, and that's what I'm excited to see, because this is going to be a real test for Daniel Farke. As I say, Wagner, Norwich's boss, has been in the playoffs. He's won the playoffs. Daniel Farke has never been in the playoffs. So it's going to be so interesting to see how he goes about these 3 cup finals. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. The 49ers, I think, are Phil's article as sort of clarified what I was speaking about at the start of the week, but some of you may not have believed me and may believe Phil, which fair enough, no problem with that. But there you go, guys. That is sort of my 2 cents on it, and they're not going to sack him. They are, and I think I said that to you guys at the start of the week. Well, I did say that at the start of the week. They're not going to sack him. But from a fan's perspective, I think this is how we're all looking at it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. Check out the content from yesterday as well. Head on over to the Patreon for Generation Leeds. I'll see you on the other side. Cheers.